He glanced outside his office window and saw a poor woman begging near the gate. What he discovered next shattered his world and brought back a part of his past he thought was long gone. Aarav Mehta was known across the city as a no-nonsense CEO. 34. Razor sharp. Always suited, always focused. His company sat on the 16th floor of a shimmering tower. Untouchable, successful, and busy. But that Friday afternoon, as he looked out of his glass office during a rare pause between meetings, something stopped him cold. A frail woman stood outside the main gate. She wasn't begging loudly or causing a scene, just standing. Holding a small bag, her dupatta clutched in her fists, her eyes scanning the crowd with a quiet kind of desperation. Something about her made Aarav lean in closer. He zoomed in through the CCTV feed, trying to shake the strange feeling in his chest. There was something hauntingly familiar about her face. The curve of her smile, the tired bend in her shoulders, the way she looked up every time someone passed, as if waiting for someone to recognize her. His assistant knocked. "Sir, your investor call in 5... "Cancel it," he said abruptly, already grabbing his keys. Downstairs, he walked out through the side entrance, heart thudding for reasons he couldn't name. As he approached the gate, the security guard tried to wave the woman away. "Ma'am, you can't loiter!" But Aarav stopped him. "It's okay," he said. "I'll speak with her." He stepped forward slowly, unsure of what he was about to say. But before he could open his mouth, the woman turned, and their eyes met. She gasped and whispered a name no one had called him in 20 years. "Chotu." Aarav froze. No one, not even his closest friends, knew that name. Only one person had ever called him that, and she had disappeared when he was 8 years old. Aarav couldn't breathe. That word, Chotu, slammed into his chest like a memory he'd buried too deep. He stared at the woman, eyes wide, lips parted. What did you just call me?" She covered her mouth with her trembling hands. Tears flooded her eyes. "Chotu, it's you. It's really you." He blinked as flashes from his childhood came crashing back. The tiny one-room house, the smell of turmeric and soap, a woman singing him to sleep, holding his fevered head. This woman. "Masi?" he said suddenly, voice barely a whisper. "Is it really you?" she sobbed, nodding. "Yes, Beta. Yes." He stumbled back a step. His nanny, his second mother, the woman who had raised him after his real mother passed away, the one who used to walk him to school, feed him with her own hands, tell him bedtime stories with more love than anyone ever had. She was the warmth in his otherwise cold childhood. But she had vanished one day. No goodbyes, no messages, no answers. He was told she left without notice, that she didn't want the job anymore. Now, standing before him in worn-out sandals and faded clothes, she shook her head. "They told you I abandoned you, didn't they?" He nodded silently. She sat down on the pavement, overwhelmed. "I didn't leave you, Chotu. I was sent away. Your father said I was getting too attached, that I was making you soft. He fired me, told me never to come back." Aarav's heart dropped. "You tried to contact me?" She nodded. "So many times. Letters, calls. But your father blocked everything. I used to wait across the road just to catch a glimpse of you coming home from school. But then one day, you were gone." He sank beside her on the sidewalk, people staring, but he didn't care. "Why didn't you move on?" he asked, voice cracking. She gave a tired smile. "Because a mother never really does." Aarav stared at the woman who once taught him to tie his shoelaces and hum lullabies. She hadn't changed, not in the ways that mattered. And now, all he could think was, he got rich, but he lost her. Until now. That night, Aarav didn't go to his penthouse. He brought Masi with him, to the place where he truly lived, behind the walls of memories, grief, and a silent childhood that only she had ever colored with warmth. He gave her the guest room, but she quietly rolled out a mat on the floor. "Old habits," she smiled. "No," he said softly, holding her hand. "You belong in this house, not beside it." Over hot dal and rice, just the way she used to make it, they talked for hours. She told him stories he had forgotten, like how he used to fall asleep with one sock on, how he cried when his toy car broke, how he once made her a paper crown and called her Queen Masi. He laughed, then cried. For the years she missed, for the silence he believed, for the childhood that was only real when she was in it. The next day, he called a press conference, not to talk about business, not to announce a merger, but to introduce the world to the woman who shaped him. "This is Masi," he said, placing his hand proudly on her shoulder. "She didn't just raise me, she made me who I am, and I let the world forget her." He paused, but not anymore. He announced the launch of the Masi Foundation, a program to support elderly domestic workers who had been abandoned or forgotten by the families they once served with love. Pension, health care, shelter, because as he said to the cameras, "They didn't work for us. They loved us, and love is not a job. It's a bond that deserves dignity." Masi sat beside him, overwhelmed, whispering, "Why do all this, Beta?" Aarav smiled, eyes shining. "Because you already gave me everything. Now I want to give back what was stolen from you, your place in my life." Weeks passed, but the warmth in Aarav's house grew stronger than the lights in his office tower. The once silent home now echoed with the sound of laughter, the clinking of steel plates, and the soothing hum of Masi's evening bhajans. For the first time in years, Aarav didn't wake up to his alarm clock. He woke up to the smell of fresh parathas and a voice calling out, "Chotu uth jabeta subahogai." And it felt like home. Then came the evening that changed everything. Aarav was attending a gala celebrating top CEOs in India. He stood among flashing cameras and flowing suits, but when the host asked him, "To what do you credit your success?" he didn't say strategy. He didn't say hard work. He walked off the stage and pulled a small, wrinkled woman from the crowd, dressed in a simple cotton sari, her eyes full of disbelief. "To her," he said, "she taught me how to love before I learned how to lead. She fed me before I ever signed a deal. And when I lost her, I lost a part of myself I didn't know was missing. Until she came back." The crowd stood in stunned silence, then rose to its feet. Tears rolled down Masi's face as Aarav whispered, "I didn't get to give you the world when I was little. So now, let me give it to you." 1 year later, the Masi Foundation had supported over 1,000 retired nannies and caretakers, giving them homes, health, and happiness. And on the door of Aarav's house, a golden nameplate read, "Aarav and Masi's home," where love was never forgotten. Because sometimes, the woman we call maid was actually mother all along. All it takes is one glance out the window to see what your heart never really let go